Hi everyone, it's me, it's your girl, I'm here. Yeah, so this is what I'm gonna look like in real life, in cosplay. A couple extra details will be different, because I'm a perfectionist when it comes to this kind of thing. Dylan Co, thank you for 4 months, thank you! Thank you, thank you. The giant red claws, well, you see, we're breaking immersion a little bit, because we're crafting, yeah! I got my little baby hands today. Okay, so today will be shoe day, I think. I think that's what we should do today. Because last time on Arts and Crafts, we're currently listening to the Metal Hellsinger playlist. So, these are my shoes that I'm using for my Nihlister cosplay because she has these crazy... Okay, you know what? I will still do this. Here, let me add a little picture. Just kind of like cropped so we can see exactly what we're working with here. Zoom. Zoom. Boop. And zoom. Let's do this one. So you see her foot, right? Her foot kind of has like a blade for the heel. And instead of using a skinny little stiletto heel to hide inside of this little spike, I am creating an illusion with a clear acrylic heel wedge. And we're just going to be gluing the little spike on the back of this right here. That way I still have stability when I'm walking. This is not glass, okay? So it's not just going to like shatter. It's very strong and sturdy. I've been practicing walking around in these for a very long time. But you'll notice these are 2 different heights. And that's because I just tucked in some of the fabric of the shoe inside. This is because... Here, let me grab the armor. We made some armor pieces last time on Arts and Crafts. And this is... the little wingy piece, right? This is the armor. But you'll notice something that drives me crazy is when the boot is too tall, right? You've got the perfect platform, the perfect heel, the perfect color, the perfect shape, but your boots are too tall. What do? We cut them! So, you see here on this side, the armor is able to be lined up without the boot showing on the top. And that way, it's a lot less bulk because all of this extra fabric is bulky, especially when we want to make this illusion where the armor kind of sticks out a little bit and then you have the narrow leg kind of going inside. But because the boot sticks out so much, it creates a lot of bulk in this area that we want to get rid of. So we are going to turn this into this, but permanently. Shoes hurt just by looking at them. They're really not that bad. I promise they're not as bad as they look. The shoes that really hurt are the ones that have the skinny heel. Because you barely have any support on the tiny ass little rod of the heel. But this is like a nice thick bottom that goes across the entire bottom of your foot. So you don't feel unstable or as unstable, right? So pretty much what we need to do, depending on how tall the boot is, we make sure to unzip it first because if we cut the zipper off, it's a bitch to get back on the track. So we unzip the zipper, you cut however much you want to take off, and then you fold the rest in. But because there's already, not too much we need to cut off, I think we can get away with just gluing it down. because sometimes if there's a lot of extra bulk on the inside of your shoe, it'll either, one, not fit as well as it did before because there's the extra bulk inside of it, or it'll just like be uncomfortable if it's rubbing up, right? But that's why what I'm going to do is seam rip the zipper out up into a certain point where it's going to fold over. And then we are going to cut the zipper track, sew a couple stitches in to prevent the zipper from sliding off again. And then we're just kind of going to leave it in here. That way the zipper won't rub up against me and scratch my leg. And I tried these on folded like this, and they're a little bit looser. So I think I'm also going to glue in a little silicone pad because silicone sticks to your skin really easily, and it'll stick to my, like the back of my foot easier and won't be as slippy. It still stays on fine, but like if I kick my foot hard enough, the shoe will probably fly off. I'm not going to be doing that, but just to kind of, you know, add a little bit of security, I might add in a little something at the back later. But yeah, overall, it's going to look better. It's going to fit better. Would the folded material act like a padding for the upper ankle? It can. Yes, it can. In some cases, you can cut some of this off and just fold a tiny little bit. I feel like in this case, we don't really have to cut much. We could just get away with gluing it. We might... Yeah, I think once we seam rip the zipper here, it'll reduce some of the bulk that's here. And sometimes the seams can be bulky, but this seam is really well done. If you get like a cheaper pair of shoes, there'll usually be a different kind of fabric for the lining. But in this case, the lining is still the same like pleather. So it's really, really nice. If you do cut it, you'll have two separate layers. And sometimes when you fold it in, the inner layer will kind of show past the outer layer. So you could just cut the inner layer shorter. So that way it's still kind of clean on the inside. Nobody's going to be seeing the fucking inside of your shoes. Nobody's really going to be paying attention to your shoes because it's like the last place people will look because they're way at the bottom. But from a competitive cosplay background, I like to make things as accurate and perfect as I can get them to be. So it's really, really important for me. Plus, it's a matter of your preference for how you want pieces to fit together. Like I was saying earlier with this leg, because you see it's like a very fitted piece of leg armor, and then it kind of goes up. But you see how skinny this like shin area is, and I want to keep it as skinny as I can to make my legs look longer and to make the proportions look more correct. So let's bring this back down. I guess I'll just like keep this off to the side here, just so you guys kind of have context. Will I be comfy in these for hours? I don't know yet. I haven't worn them for hours yet, like standing. I will be putting some kind of cushion, like some sort of insert in the toe portion where most of the weight is going to be distributed on. Some kind of leg sleeve and glue the foam to it. So what I'm going to do actually is make my own like leggings. Because if you see, Nihlister has, let me move the shoes so you can see it a little clearer. So Nihlister has like these patterns between the armor, and my idea is just to make leggings that go underneath all of the armor. One, so it's easier to clean and I'm not just like sweating all over my armor. And two, to create a place to attach all the armor pieces to while still keeping things accurate in between the armor. So it's all going to be different patterns, different materials that all will make sense when everything is all attached on top of it. It's a lot. I know it's a lot. But to begin, I have a couple handy dandy tools. I did bring my massive fabric shears. These are super fucking heavy. So these are meant for cutting fabric. That's why I brought them, just in case I wanted to cut the boots. But I think I'll do away with cutting them because there's already a nice finished sewn seam. and I don't want it to potentially like fray or anything. Leather usually doesn't fray, but you never know with like the cheap plasticky pleather stuff. So I think I'll just keep it intact because it still fits when tucked inside the shoe. If it was any longer, I would cut it just because, you know, reduce the amount of bulk that's inside the shoe. But here you can see this is where it ends. So it's about, hold on. It's about, let's do like, let me do centimeters. Where's the oh, the centimeters are on this side. Okay. Let's do some measuring. It's about 5 centimeters. 5 centimeters of extra fabric. But you don't want to cut your shoes right on this line because then you'll have a rough edge and then you won't have anything to fold over and glue down to make it look nice and pretty. But yeah, this this is actually the cause of one of my cosplay injuries because these are the sharpest scissors I own because they're fabric scissors. And my dumbass decided to use these to cut a wig because you also need sharp scissors for cutting hair. Yeah, these are way too heavy for that. You want lightweight scissors. Not these heavy ass full steel scissors. Alrighty, so cool little tools that I have. This thing is called a seam ripper. This rips seams. And this little thing are
I wasn't
thread
able to
snips.
give you this on my B-Day, but now I can. Thanks for making it the best birthday I've had in years.
What the fuck? Dark Messiah, thank you so much. On your birthday! Bro, what are you talking about? Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. That's so sweet. I hope you had a good birthday. Dude, thank you. I really appreciate that so much. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, treat yourself. That's what I'm saying. I hope you still have enough to do something nice for yourself. Thank you. Thank you so, so much. I hope you got some nice treats. Saber Noctis, thank you for 15 months. Alpha Cop, thank you for 11 months. Bear with me, thank you for the 23. Sorry for falling behind. Elbex, thank you for 13 months. Killaris, thank you for 4 months. Thank you, thank you. Dylan, thank you. Thank you again so much. Thank you. Okay, I'm caught up. We're good. So, holy shit. Not when I've got hand cam, you guys. I don't want you guys to see me visibly shaking. Anyway, these are thread snippers. So these are really, really handy. Like when you're sewing something and you don't want to like get actual scissors to cut them, you can just kind of go snip, 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 snip with your little thread snippers. Sometimes these are helpful as seam rippers, but I think in this case we want something more precise. So we're gonna go with these. Step 1 is always make sure your boots are completely unzipped because you don't want to be losing your zipper. That's the most annoying part. And then I'm just gonna carefully move these out of the way. Carefully start seam ripping. So you can see all of the stitches that are here. And what I'm going to do is get my little seam ripper in there. These are machine stitches and like leather sewing machines with leather needles and all that stuff. So they are pretty sturdy. But once you get one cut, you can just kind of pull up the rest of it. I'm sorry, there's like a shadow. I'm trying to pull this open so you guys can see. But essentially, we are just going to be pulling out the threads. This also is one of those kinds of fabrics that you can very easily destroy if you try to sew it and then rip it apart and then sew it back together again. Because you can kind of see right here, once you rip up the thread, the holes still stay there. Some fabrics are like self-healing, so you don't have to worry about that. But leather, pleather, not one of those. I'm just trying to see. There we go. I'm starting to pull this open. Just working very carefully because these are expensive shoes and I don't want to damage them, yet I'm taking them apart. So the goal here is to remove the zipper. Trying to get in here. It's so hard to show you guys. I'm so sorry. It's just like such fine work. I also don't really want to rip off this, but I guess it doesn't matter if I do. This little like extra flappy bit that kind of protects your skin from the zipper. I don't really think we'll need that, but I will still rip this anyway. I'm trying to see which seam is holding the zipper on. I think it's the outer one. I think that's the one I've been ripping. And so normally when you, sorry, the shoe's like blocking my tracking. Normally when you are seam ripping, the entire seam can just kind of like fall apart. But if you're careful enough, it'll be okay. Because essentially we are just gluing this back into place. Because once it's tucked in, you won't see this part. It's just very, very... Hold on. I need to hold this close to my face because I need to see where all the tiny little threads are. Wow, wow. Oh, I see it. Oh, it's hard because the fabric is so dark and the threads are so dark. I got you. You can't hide from me. All right. We are cooking. You also got to be careful with these tools because they are sharp. Nice. You could realistically just cut this off straight up, but I want to get it out of this seam because that is probably what's going to rub up against my foot and not be pleasant. And then we can always glue it back together with more contact cement because that's what we're going to be using again today. So I've got the windows open, I got my fan on, I've got the air purifier running, and then we'll be using my respirator again. Damn, it's like sewn through the zipper. They're crazy with it. You guys liking the jams? I wonder if it is sewn twice.
I'm convinced.
Might be.
I'd let Cinder sew up an injury if in a major accident away from proper services.
I don't know if I'd be able to do something like that, but... I guess it's nice that you trust me with something like that. I wouldn't trust myself with something like that. Okay, I think I'm just gonna go for the top because it does not want to come out. Thank you for the cheer, North Countryman. Thank you. Yeah, I know. Having this track on Spotify. There's probably a reason why. But I wouldn't know what that reason is. Everyone's got their own reasons for stuff. Maybe someday. You never know. You can see some of the threads that we're pulling out.
What's your favorite weapon type in Nikkei?
Any that goes... Hold on, I gotta go close up on this. Just because the threads are so dark, it's so hard to see them. Oh my god, I just got jump scared by this fucking piece of thread because my fan's on and I thought it was like a creature crawling across my desk. Fucking hell. We're good. No creatures. Just thread. Okay, I think I almost got it. It's just very, very, very strong. It's very much on there. We got it! I can see the end. Yay! There it is! Okay. Here, I'm gonna clean this up. Sorry, I'm so, like, messy when I'm crafting stuff. Literally, like, when it's con crunch mode and I'm just, like, rushing to finish cosplays for conventions. Back in the day, my parents' house was a mess. Like, I was taking over, you know, my bedroom and the kitchen and sometimes the bathroom. And, like, the living room. And, like, all the rooms were just, like, covered in cosplay stuff. But you can see here that I have ripped out the end of this zipper. And it kind of curves in. And now this little piece won't be bulky scratching into me. So what we're going to do is fold this back in. Like it was. Make sure it's the right height. And what I'm going to do is sew the stitches in. That way, when I pull this off, wherever I stitch the zipper, it will not come undone, and I can just cut it. So, let me grab that. I just wanted to make sure I could get the zipper safely out without, like, completely damaging the boots. So now that I know that, it's always a risk when you try to do really crazy stuff with really expensive things. So I just have like the most basic black thread. This is like, so sometimes you can go and get like the fancy name brand threads from the craft store or hobby store or whatever. But these are like in a giant bins with a bunch of them, and they're like $1 to $2. So I always am stocked up on just black and white thread because it's so versatile. If you have something that's kind of dark that you need to sew, black thread will work. You don't always have to color match perfectly, although, you know, it looks nicer if you perfectly color match, but it's not necessary. And then if you have white thread, if you have a lighter piece of clothing or whatever that you need to sew, then it won't be as noticeable if you need to do a little fix. Whenever I travel, I always bring my spools of black and white thread because I'm always paranoid that something might happen just because it's happened so often at conventions. Like, what if, you know, I rip one of my outfits? I'll just sew it up. What if, you know, a button pops off? I can just sew it up. What if one of my friends needs a little repair on an outfit, right? What if somebody rips their pants? That's embarrassing. Yeah, so I double up my needle and thread. So what I do is I put one end through and then I bring it around so there's actually, it's like looped on the end. And I tie a knot on the back. And what we're going to do to hide the big ugly knot is go in under here and then come out on the other side. And pretty much what we're intending to do, you don't need crazy sewing skills for this. We're just essentially wrapping the thread around some of these teeth to stop it from zipping up, because we want a nice clean cut zipper. So the zipper isn't going to be folded. The zipper is going to be cut straight across. And when you have a cut zipper, if you zip it up, your zipper is going to go flying off of the tracks of the teeth. So this is preventing that. And this goes to show how crazy I am when I make stuff, because this is 100% unnecessary. But I'm doing it anyway. All right, so I think we're going to do like right here. I should have brought my thimble. Let me go like behind here. I don't think I can. Maybe I can. So I don't have to go through this little extra flap. Let me try it. Might work. It worked! So you see the needle is through. We're going to hide our knot back there. So you'll notice how, because I'm sewing through fake leather, it's kind of thick. It's taking a lot of force and pressure to really get the needle through the fabric. So something that they make is called a thimble. And you might have heard of a thimble. You might only know it from Monopoly. It kind of looks like a little round... Here, let me show you guys a picture. It's going to take all my effort to describe it, and it's not... I'm not going to do a good job. Thimble. There's pictures of people using one. That's perfect. Here, let me show you guys this. Why is it saving as a web? No. PNG. Okay, let me show this to you guys. So, giant man hand alert. Here we go. This is a thimble. So essentially, you put it on the tip of one of your fingers, and it's this little metal cap that allows you to push the end of a needle through tougher fabrics. Because if you just try to push it with your normal fingers, it kind of hurts. It's like a tiny little, you know, piece of metal that you're stabbing into your skin. It's not the sharp side, but even the non-sharp side can still be a little uncomfortable. So no, it's not a Chinese finger trap. It's a thimble, a thimble. You can use other things besides a thimble. Obviously, thimble is the material, or not material, but the tool that works best for this kind of job. So we pull it through. And I'm going to cut off these little strings. I'm usually very bad at remembering to cut my thread strings. Cut. There we go. And these we'll just tuck in there. Yeah. So I'm just going to sew around a couple of times. Back through that same-ish spot. And when you sew around, you can kind of line up your thread to be right between the
Hi,
teeth.
Sinder.
Hey!
The cosplay model looks epic.
Thank you!
Spitting image.
Ah.
Thanks for the sewing tips. Definitely time stamping this part for the VOD.
Aw,
I'd
really?
like to make custom doll clothes and, well, I have fabric glue to get started, but I'd love to sew them eventually.
Yeah, hell yeah, that's awesome. So, here, let me give you another sewing tip right now then. So, if you have your thread, you know, kind of doubled up like I do, there is still a chance that if one of your stitches gets severed or comes undone somehow, then all of it's going to fall apart because the only thing that's holding it together is that first knot you made. And if you're just kind of sewing in loops, there's no other knots to hold it together. So if one little stitch goes, then the whole seam will fall apart unless it's reinforced. So in order to reinforce a seam when you're hand sewing something, you start a stitch again like normal. And you're going to pull it almost all the way through, but not quite. You want to have a little loop left over. It's kind of hard to see. But you have a little loop. And before you pull your thread all the way through, you want to go back through the loop you made. And then pull. Sometimes you want to pull the threads evenly, which I didn't do. Because see how there's still like a little tiny baby loop here? That's because one of these threads didn't go through all the way. So we can just pull on them separately to kind of wiggle that loop back into place. And that is how you make a knot. So in case some of your seams are maybe a little more fragile and you want them to be stronger, you can do those extra knots every single seam. I do that sometimes, like when I hand sew fur. But you don't have to. It's totally your own preference. It just helps reinforce what you're doing. But sewing is not my forte. Foam work and props are more of the thing that I excel the most at. But I have done a little bit of everything. Sarah, thank you for the tier 1 sub. Welcome in. I really appreciate it. Jeremy Day, thank you for the 7 months. Thank you. It is a boot. We are making this boot right here. I'm sorry that it kind of like blocks my tracking. Maybe I'll do it over here. Let me move this. And the reason I started cutting this first is to just kind of make sure that it was possible, because sometimes you never know how shoes are made. Sometimes they might use glue instead of sewing it. So I just like to make sure that I can kind of get this off pretty cleanly. But before I take it off completely and cut it, I like to sew it first, because then that way I can test how secure the stitches are. And see here, it's not, even if it was like this, right? Even if it's not zipping. Oh, it just zipped. So there you go. I need more stitches. I also need to do the other side too. But essentially, you want it to be super duper secure. I've done this once before, and I put so many freaking stitches in there. So just to keep in mind, the goal is to make sure the zipper does not zip all the way. YouTube, stop playing my music. Why? It was probably like, are you still listening? Yeah. Yes, I'm still watching. SJS Ichigo, thank you for 6 months. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. There's the music. Please don't stop the music. And I know this kind of part maybe isn't as exciting as like making armor or gluing pieces together, but it's something that is important for me to do because every little aspect of my cosplay is important to me, and I want it all to be as perfect and as accurate as I can possibly get it. That's the perfectionist inside of me. The competitive cosplayer in me. Yeah, you just trust the process, and sometimes things, can take a while. Man, I really should have gotten a thimble. That's okay. I'll be alright. I've got tough, strong cosplay hands. Xenon, thank you for the 21 months. Thank you. Okay, we pull this through. Sometimes the thread gets tangled a little bit. Nice. No, I decided not to stream on YouTube today just because OBS has been chugging lately, and I didn't want to risk it today because I really wanted to have a smooth stream showing off a crazy new outfit. So hopefully the next crafting stream I'll be able to hang out with my YouTube Pyro Pups. Because the last stream, OBS cut out twice on us. And I don't know if it's just like, trying to run 2 streams and it being really, really hard on the program, which is bullshit. Hold on, do I have something? I mean, I could just use these. Okay, don't do what I do, okay? Get a thimble. Don't use just like any random hard object. I like the new look. Thank you. Here, let me see if I can move this up. Maybe just a little bit. That way it's like above the shoe, kind of. Okay. I usually try to sew around like at least 3 of the teeth. That way it's extra secure. Yeah, the recesses help keep the needle from sliding off. Exactly. This has like a little bit of engraving in it that helps with the grippy. Nice. Nice. Oh, this got stuck. It's better. Hey. Make a male character?
Hiya, Sinder.
For Nikkei? Well, it goes against the lore.
And beautiful Nihlister cosplay on your model.
Thank you.
Also, just in case I'm not around or you're not streaming next Friday, can I get a happy birthday?
Oh,
Sinder
you know I'm gonna
heart.
be streaming around then. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. Actually, hold on. What day is Friday? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Trust me. I'll be live. Next week is gonna be a big week. Really big. There's not gonna be anything crazy happening on that day in particular. No, no, no. Don't be crazy. There's definitely not going to be anything crazier happening the day after that. No, no, no. I've got a lot of fun stuff planned. What's happening? You're just going to have to wait and see. Where's the fun if it just gets spoiled, huh? The amount of times I've stabbed myself with a sewing needle are too many to count. But I've yet to do so on stream. So that's something. Instead of sleeping, I just cook. The barrel cosplay! Yo, you're still on that? Damn. Maybe I could. this is a better method. Yeah, I think it'll be faster this way if I just kind of open it up. Yeah, there we go. All that yummy, delicious food you guys get to eat soon. No way. I'm cooking up a really big meal. Believe it. Why loop instead of back and forth? Because I want to wrap the teeth of the zipper to prevent it from zipping up. I'm not sewing fabric to the zipper. I actually want to sew around the zipper. That's why I'm doing loops. Leave it to me to be insane enough
I
to
made
modify
some
shoes.
adjustments to my las gun and plasma gun, painted Cadia stands on my plasma gun and painted some metal weathering on my las gun. I'm so excited for tomorrow, by the way.
Yo,
it's
like-
looking like quite the project to make one of our favorite red-headed Nikkei waifu.
Oh. Are you making like life-size props? Life-size blasty props? No weighing? New playlist? No, it's just the Metal Hellsinger playlist. Okay. I can see the thread starting to build up on the teeth, which is good. But I really want this to be secure. And then I just have to do this 3 more times. Cosplay is a very, very time-consuming thing. And like, you know, even I said I started building this a few months ago, and you guys can actually go back in the VODs to see exactly when my first VOD was that I started streaming the creation of this. But the thing with cosplay, especially cosplay that is this large of a scale, you need a lot of planning time before you can even start. So I started planning this like way before even my first VOD of me making this. So it's a lot. Gathering references, kind of planning out how you're going to do something, all that stuff is so important. I mean, some people just like to figure it out as they go, which is what I do sometimes. But especially since I was going to be streaming, and it's like, it's a little bit of anxiety to it too, because I had never made anything in front of anyone else before. It's kind of like how some people have like drawing or painting anxiety, where it's like they prefer to just be alone, and when somebody watches them like do creative stuff, they kind of just get anxious and nervous, and then they can't really work properly. So I was a little nervous at first. So I wanted to definitely be very well planned, so you guys could tell that I knew what I was talking about, because sometimes I stutter and I don't know the right words to say, and I wanted to be able to explain things as best as I could for you guys trying to learn something new. Need your own space for it? Yeah. I'm glad you guys get it. Oh yeah, when playing the drums. For sure. Instruments. Anything, you know, creative. Because being creative can also be something that's, you know, very vulnerable. Like, especially singing. When I first came out with a CPR, that was my first cover song. That was my first time releasing music. That was my first time I did anything like that publicly. The reception was not very great. It got to the wrong side of the internet. If you were there for that, rip. That was a little rough. But, you know, I didn't let that stop me from making stuff. And now I have more music. And there's more music that's on the way in the future. So, despite having nerves and anxiety of showing your passions and your creativity to other people, no matter what they think of it, it does not matter at the end of the day, because what matters is how you feel about it. What matters is how your work makes you feel. And if you enjoy what you do, you keep going and don't let anybody stop you. Because life is too short to not do what makes you happy. I'm glad you like Winter Rain. Thank you. There will be more music projects coming super soon. I know I feel like I've been saying that for a long time. But I promise. It just takes a long time sometimes. Especially when it's original. Your friend didn't know it was a cover? Yo, that's crazy. Big shout out to 6th Century for making that song in the first place. All right, we're almost done. I kind of want to go until this thread is all used up and see where we're at. I should have looked at my old shoes that I did this to before. I kind of wanted to see how much of the zipper I had sewn. But, I mean, I think this is more than enough. Let's see. Hold on, get out of the way. Maybe I should keep it like this. Yeah, that's super secure! And it's not like I'm going to be that rough zipping it up, but just in case, you know, because sometimes when you zip up your shoes, there's a lot of upward force on it, like this. Nice! Sweet! Okay, I feel confident with that. So I'm just going to do one more finishing knot. And that was just one side of the zipper being sewn. We're going to do both for maximum security. There. So I did the little loop knot. And then what I do to really finish this off is tie a second knot. Should do this in the back. I like to just kind of loop it around, almost like tying a bow, but like the knot, because I don't know better ways to tie knots. Like a slip knot. Silent no more. And then I do one more just to keep it really locked in there. And one last time, just for any extra, you know, pressure I put on it. There we go. Ta-da! Oh, this is still hanging on. Get off of there. So now, virtually invisible.
What is the mask for the Nihlister cosplay gonna look like? Is it gonna be like your typical cosplay mask, or will it be more complex looking than that?
No, I've actually talked about this before. So, Nikke spoiler warning. In the game, Nihlister is a boss. And when you fight her as a boss, she takes on a giant mech dragon form. She doesn't look like a human anymore. She looks like a mech dragon. This is what her dragon form looks like. Holy shit, this is massive. That's what her dragon form looks like, okay? So, my idea is to make a mask that looks like this. Almost like a Deathwing jaw, but more Nihlister coated. Make the whole thing. I don't know about that one. But yeah, that's the idea. I could just go just like the normal like black N95 mask or something. But I think it'd be really cool if I have time. It'll just be a foam mask. So yeah, right here you can barely see it. The stitches that are preventing it from zipping off. So now what I'm going to do is pick the rest of this. Looks like there was a bit of glue used, maybe. Or some kind of a stabilizer. Oh, our Deathwing's Warhammer thing? I meant Deathwing from, wow, World of Warcraft Deathwing. I didn't know there was more than one. The Deathwing! The big, evil, spooky dragon with the big jaw. Wow, mentioned! No weighing?
Cinder, you will most certainly have pyro pups purely only fixated at your feet after the stream.
Please don't. This is just how I make stuff from a competitive standpoint. It's not that deep. I'm just showing you guys my, you know, thought process and my work process. Frostfang Piglet, thank you for 15 months. Lightning, thank you for the 20 months. Thank you. Siren, welcome. Thank you for the tier 1 subby. Smack, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Thank you. Verky, thank you for all the biddies. I really appreciate it, you guys. Bismarck, thank you for 17 months. Thank you. All right, we're getting there. We're almost down to where our stitches are. And then we cut. Just a little bit more. La 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 la. All right. This might be a little, sorry, my shoe's blocking. This might be a little overkill. But we're gonna use these. Hey, welcome, Siren. Thank you so much. So, we're just going to cut the zipper off right above where the stitches are. If it's easier to see, it's going to be like this. With all eyes you've ever lived. Actually, wait. I'm going to try just cutting the teeth part. Paradise soon dead and gone. You will never ever know. Song springs no tomorrow. I wonder if I can rip these off. Okay, let's just do this. Careful not to cut the actual leather part. If it will cut. Yeah, these scissors are fucking massive. I'm just trying to snip the top. Doesn't want to snip. Wait, are these sewn on too? Is that something there? Hold on. Where's my... There it is. Yeah, I like to stay in the just chatting category when I have my arts and crafts streams, just because it's essentially a chatting stream, but I'm just like working on cosplay in the background. Like we're just vibing and chatting and I'm telling you how I'm doing stuff. I don't know how those are on. We'll just cut the whole thing. It'll be fine. Oh, wait. I can do this. Oh, pull on my needle. So, in order to not lose needles and then potentially, like, step on them later, I just weave it through the spool of thread that I'm using. Just, like, stick it through a couple strands. Like this. That way, you know where your needle is. It's easier to find a spool of thread than it is to find a little needle in a haystack. Okay. We're gonna do this instead. Ah, now it's snipping. Okay. We're gonna cut right along the teeth. And then there we go. Hold on, it fell on the floor. So we just cut the teeth part off. And then when we go to tuck this in, there's still a tiny bit of fabric that we can fold over because sometimes the fabric frays. And what fraying is, if you ever had something and there's like little strings that just like keep coming off your fabric, that's what it means when it's fraying. So just to kind of prevent that from happening, I might cut this too. Your disguise. Yeah, because see, well, that's the thread. But all of this up here is fraying from the actual fabric. So I don't want to cut that off completely right at the edge of the zipper, because then if I'm, you know, fiddling with this zipper edge, it has the potential to unravel. And I don't want that. So I'm actually just going to fold it down and kind of tuck it in here and then glue it. There's a piece of string that I'll have to cut off. So that's going to sit in there and get glued down. I could probably go to cut a couple more of these teeth because it's kind of sticks up a little, like right here. I could probably get away with cutting this. Let me do a test. Let's cut like a tiny piece off and see if it frays. No, looks good. So I might... Maybe I don't need to, actually. I was going to cut it so it's not as bulky here, but I feel like if I just glue the whole thing instead of the bottom, it'll stay nice and flush. So I don't think I need to do that. But I will cut maybe 2 more of these. Gotta do this really carefully because I don't want to cut the actual shoe. And these shoes are friggin' expensive. And I'm cutting them all up. Listen, if you want to do something this crazy, then go for it, but like you don't have to. Our tiny little zipper piece. Beautiful. Could probably do one more. I think that's all right though. I think that's pretty good. Nikkei anime? Well, the thing is that Nikkei does have a lot of anime style cutscenes between every couple chapters or so. The end of every chapter, something like that. Pretty crazy. I'm just gonna snip that. I think I need to sharpen these. Cozy death metal. Pretty much, kind of. So now that I know generally where things are lining up, I can just sew across on the other side. And if you have shoes that line up pretty closely, these are different because the zipper kind of curves into the top seam. But if you have a zipper that's straight across at the top and doesn't have this little curve, you can literally just like count. If you want to get like super duper accurate, you just count down how many rows of teeth you cut the first time. But yeah, this is working out. This is going to work out really, really well. But now I'm going to seam rip the other side and just kind of repeat. I probably won't sew up the other shoe on stream because I don't know. I want to give you guys other techniques to watch. I don't want it to get too boring or repetitive. It's like I'm just sewing like the zippers of the shoes and you can barely see what I'm doing because the thread is so dark. So I just want these streams to be entertaining and informative for all of you guys. Let's see, I think what I'll do. I think when I sew this up, I'm just going to glue. I'm going to cut this again. That way it's shorter than this piece. And then I can just hide that extra fabric flap inside here when I glue it down. And I'm just going to be using contact cement, so I will at least show you guys how to do that. It's very, very straightforward. You just put the glue on both sides. The model looks significantly less naked with the ahoge. With the horns missing. Yeah, I know. I felt kind of bald, but the ahoge helps. KV, thank you for 16 months. Echo, thank you for the 19. Thank you, thank you. Oh wait, seam ripper first. I got too excited and grabbed my needle and thread. Cool to watch? I'm glad you think so. It's just this part is one of the more nerve-wracking parts, at least in my opinion. I mean, I love working on shoes. I feel like shoes and shoe armor is one of my favorite things to do just because it's so much fun. And also, you kind of have a form to work off of because when you're doing something for your arm, it's hard to work on it while also working on your arm because you only have 2 arms, right? But this, you can, take it off of your foot and have it separate to work on. And it's just so much easier to have both of your hands free to work on something when it's not attached to your body. Maybe that's why I like working on shoes so much. It's just really easy. But also, and I like to tell people this too, whenever you are starting a project for the first time, working with materials for the first time, if there's shoe armor or details on your shoes that exist on your character, do those first. Because the thing is when you're trying something for the first time, obviously the first time you do it, it's not going to be perfect. But if you're working on the shoes, one, it's not as much material as if it were like a whole breastplate or a pauldron or a bracer or something like that. So you're saving on materials in case you mess up. And even if it's not perfect at the end of the day, You got practice in working with those materials, and it's less likely people are going to be looking at your shoes at a convention. Plus, they get scuffed up a little bit anyways when you're walking around, and that's okay. It's the wear and tear of it. It's the weathering. It was supposed to be like that. Thank you, Zach. I'm glad you like the model. Appreciate it. Hope you're doing good. Killjoy, thank you for a whole year. Thank you, thank you. Cosplaying her so well makes you want to build her. Yeah. No, you guys, this is a deal, right? If Nikke notices my cosplay, whether it's this one or this one, right? This one's going to be way more impressive, okay? But I'm going to take cosplay pictures, and obviously they're going to get more attention than my model because, you know, flesh goes crazy in the VTuber community because it's so rare. And I'm going to hold up a sign begging Nikke to buff her because Nihlister needs a buff so bad. Not the flesh tuber! I don't think I'll ever be a flesh tuber. Like, after being in the cosplay community for so long, it's nice to not have that kind of pressure on you with, like, you know, making sure you have good lighting, you have a good backdrop, you have, you know, you have to look presentable. Half the time I look like a fucking zombie, man. The bags under my eyes are designer. I'm a little disheveled because I'm always working on stuff. So it's like, you know, those beauty standards put a lot of pressure on cosplayers. And it's really, really tiring and stressful sometimes. To have people just like always looking at you and judging you for your appearance. But here, I can look like anything I want to and people know me for who I am. Which I really, really value a lot. Do what Nags does and just wear the same shirt every stream. Bro's literally main character energy. Counterpoint, thank you for 7 months. Wolf Attack, thank you for the 6 months. Drago's the Devil, thank you for 14. Thank you. You can see this one's going a little faster because I'm not being as careful because I know like how stable the shoes are now and I know exactly where I need to cut and rip. And I know how strong. Like I know what the shoes can handle now. Hey, Crunchy! Yeah, so I said zombie because there was a point in time where I had my professional, nice job at the bank, and I would look presentable every single day. And then when I'd have my days off, my mom would come home from work and she'd be like, "Are you okay? You look sad and tired." And I was like, "No, Mom, I'm just like not wearing my makeup today." Like, she's like, "Oh, but yeah, you always look so bright-eyed and happy when you're ready to go to work." I'm like, "Yeah, but that'd be why." Because I can conceal the bags under my eyes, Mom. I never did like crazy makeup. It was just like the most subtle stuff because I couldn't be bothered to, you know, every day. Like, are you kidding me? Hell no. I'm a very low maintenance person. Like, yeah, I get my nails done for crafting streams sometimes for the immersion, but like most of the time, this is what my hands look like just because I've always been making stuff and crafting stuff, and I hate keeping my nails long for, you know, like an extended period of time. Like, yeah, it's cool for the aesthetic and I freaking love them, but sometimes just like maintaining them is a hassle. And sometimes it's expensive. Although the salon I go to get them nicely done for cons and stuff is kind of like in a not great area, so it's really cheap. And my parents are always like, you better let us know when you're going so one of us can go with you so you're not in that area by yourself. $30 to get the nice nails, and normally those are like minimum 80 at other salons for the same exact thing. So I'm trying to save my money so I can help my dad with the house, and that way we can afford bidets, because that'll be banging. Yeah, 30. It's crazy. Okay, these are just about right there. That's good. I should probably put the cap on this because it's sharp. Would I guess way more? Well, the thing is, okay, I'm going to admit something to you guys. Every time I go to a con, or maybe like if I'm streaming when I come back from a con, those are done professionally. But if it's just like a Lego stream or like the beads, or if I just have my nails on any other given day, I do them myself. Those are not professional. I just do my best. The way I'm like bending my needle, do you see that like curve? It's like curved. Not straight. That's okay. Zarasi, thank you for 8 months. Sorry for potentially butchering your name, but I really, really appreciate you so much. Skyfire, welcome. Thank you for the tier 1 sub. Also, a lot of you guys are probably curious, maybe not, because you probably don't fucking care about sewing. How to thread a needle, okay? So there are tools to help you get the thread through the eye of the needle, but because I've been doing this for so fucking long, I've just kind of picked up my own technique to do it. Essentially, it depends on the size of your needle. This is a longer needle, and it's a little bit thicker, so the eye, my camera's not going to focus, but the eye is a little bit bigger. The bigger your needle gets. It really just depends on, what you do. And you want a freshly cut, very sharp cut end, because if it's just like, starting to fray, then it's just going to be more difficult to put it through the needle. So you want a nice, tiny little, perfectly cut end. And then what I do is I literally just line it up. And I've just gotten so used to this, I can do it first try. But sometimes it takes a while for people to get the needle into the hole. And then I just line it up with the other end. If I can grab it. There we go. I line it up with the other end. So that way it's doubled up. Now you have double the thread and double the strength, which is always good. And then I just tie a little knot. I do it a couple times because if the knot is too small, it can actually go through the fabric and it won't catch. So I like to make sure the knot is big and thick enough so that way it doesn't just poke through the fabric. Boom, there we go. Hell yeah. Fabulous Brit, thank you for 10 months. Xenolancer, thank you for 3 months. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, I gotta get that fat knot. Shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? We're sewing! These are sewing knots. Anyway. So. We're gonna do this again. They're kind of getting in the way. Just gonna cut those. They're getting in my way. Get out of my way. Snip. Snip, snip, snip. So something I'm very much guilty of is when you're sewing, right? When you're sewing, you pretty much have these 2 threads left over that you just cut off of your machine, and then you're kind of left with threads hanging. I'm so bad at cutting the threads as I go. I usually just wait till the end, and then when it comes time to actually wear it, I'm like still finding threads that I never cut because I just did not cut them when I was sewing it. And I should have. Oh, this is fraying. I might want to glue that then if it's fraying like that. You're making a leather jacket for your husband. Stalled on it, but watching me has inspired you. Yo, that's freaking awesome. Like, thank you for sharing that. That makes me so happy. Leatherworking is definitely a whole other beast. But you got this. It looks like so much fun. I've been wanting to learn how to work with leather because I have a friend. I have a couple friends, actually, who are cosplayers that work with leather. I've always been a little bit intimidated. One, because I don't know how I feel working with, like, real animal products. And two, there's a lot of tools that you need, and leather is very expensive. So definitely do some research. Okay, this is gonna be a little difficult, huh? There. Because you've got like the embossing and the staining and all that fun, funky stuff. But like all the tooling that you can do with leather is so pretty. And you can really only do that with leather. Like it's such a beautiful craft. And that's also why I kind of want to go to Ren Fair, because there's a lot of shops that sell leather garments, and I've seen videos and like vlogs from people going to Ren Fair, and it just looks so damn pretty. Ren Fair is so fun. I want to go really bad. I don't know what I'd want to wear though, because obviously I'd want to make something for it. But I don't know what. Because I'd want to do something unique and still me. But I have no idea. Yes! Nihlister, baby! Do you like it? How's it look? Pretty cool.
Ren fairs are fun. I love going in my knight armor to them.
Hell yeah. Just making sure that these stitches are lining up on the other side from the first few we did. Yeah, it's like right there. Perfect. You had a Ren for a theme park near you, but it got shut down. No! What the hell? It's always tough for things like that because, like, conventions, really fun events like that are mostly volunteer run. Pretty much any convention staff member you see at a con is a volunteer. Cons heavily, heavily rely on volunteers. They're the reason why we are able to have these cool events. Yes, I'm still watching. It was actually kind of trash. Oh. Owner was not a good businessman. There's a deep dive on YouTube. Damn. I'm gonna have to check that out. I know there's a lot of drama with OhioCon. I keep getting recommended this cosplayer's TikToks. And she's talked about like a really bad like convention runner. MulchCon? No! No! Don't do that to me, man. So these stitches are going a little faster because I had accidentally seam ripped a little too far. That's okay though, because I can still glue the seam back up. Only on the back side, really. And so I don't have to go through 2 layers to sew around the zipper. So the thing with OhioCon is that it's an anime convention, So it's not spelled like Ohio the state. It's spelled like Ohio, like good morning. But it's in Ohio. So it's like a pun. And I thought that was so fun and clever and creative, but like turns out the runners of the con were like not that great people. Mulch Gang. Damn, that takes me back. That was like not that long ago, but it feels like it was. No, I wasn't talking about Ohio specifically. It's just like there was a con run by a not so great person. Like the kind of person that's mostly in it for the money and doesn't really care about how things are run, and everything was disorganized and it was not a good vibe. Bam. Looking good. It's lining up. That's what I like to see. No, the con with that ball pit was called Dash Con. That was, yeah, Dash Con. The Dash Con ball pit. That's an infamous piece of convention history. So for those of you guys who don't know, Dash Con, I think it was actually a pony, like a My Little Pony. Was it a Pony Con? I don't know. It might have been. It might have been an anime convention. But there was Tumblr. It was Tumblr. Yeah, it was Tumblr. That's right. Yes. It was a Tumblr con. And they didn't really have much in the dealer's room, like where you go to buy stuff. So there's this one photo that went viral of this like corner of this dealer's room. And it's just these like stone concrete walls, just like very barren. And then in the middle of the room, there's this sad looking ball pit. Like inflatable, like with the plastic balls inside. And I guess somebody had peed in it at the con. And it became famous. Yeah, like a kiddie pool. Yeah, it was like a deflated kiddie pool. There's a bunch of people on YouTube that have done deep dives about the lore of DashCon and like what happened to it and stuff, and it was not good. But it's just so crazy. The organizer lied about financial issues and pocketed a lot of the money. Yeah. Yeah, it was not a good time. It was really bad. I wasn't there. Why would you deep dive into a pee-pee pool? That's not what I meant. No. Damn. Don't do that. Don't deep dive into a pee-pee pool. Yeah, it was crazy. And then people were like hardcore protesting to get their money back, and it was a shit show. Hello? This loop-de-loop does not want to cooperate. Which side is this? Alright, I might just have to cut that off. Oh wait, maybe I can use this. Let me see if I can just wrap this around. Yeah, there've been some crazy convention mishaps in the past for sure. Yeah, I think I'll just cut that. That'll be fine. All right, last stitch. Okay, not last stitch. Oh. No, my needle's too big. Okay, that's fine though. Because we can still tie off a knot here. Filling a pool of pyro power. No! You won't be able to drink it. That's nasty. do that. All that wasted pyro power. You know how many pyro pups could have drank that? Don't make that what CinderCon is. We don't need a DashCon ball pit of our own. Okay, this is on the inside. And on. Okay. Snip, snip. Snip, snip. Nice. All right. One more here. And then we just cut off the rest of the teeth, and then we can glue this down, and then we'll be done with one shoe. Then we could do another one. All right, let's see how this works. Moment of truth. Yay! That works beautifully. Yippee! Nice! Okay. So... we've already seam ripped enough off there. We just have to cut the teeth. I'm gonna mark this actually. Zip it up. Yeah. All right. So first, I'm gonna cut right along the teethers. And then right on these. Oh, I gotta be careful not to cut the wrong part. Come on. The little tips aren't strong enough. There we go. Oh, that does fray. Gotta cut it one more time. Didn't cut all the way through. Pum, 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 dum, 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 dum. Hello? There we go. This stuff here, this is fraying when the fabric kind of just like peels apart. But this is all going to get glued in anyway, so we don't have to worry too much about that. Yeah, the heel is acrylic. I bought them like this, and we are modifying them to have a shorter heel portion. So they're more like a true low ankle boot instead of a above the ankle boot. They don't light up, but they don't have to. because Nihlister shoes don't light up. Okay. Actually, should cut a little tiny, like the tiniest bit more. Bum, 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 bum. Zip him. Could do a little more. Just like the tiniest little more. Making a mess. Beautiful. Beautiful. Look at that. Check it. My tracking. So, let me get my glue. Bam, 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 bam. Over here. Ba-ba-ba! Got it. Okay. Bottle. Respirator. And foam scraps. Because we need all that stuff. Boom. All right. So, what we're going to do is put glue pretty much all on the inside here. But I think I'm just gonna start with the zipper pieces. Yeah. I'm gonna glue the zipper pieces back inside of these layers. So that way they do not fray. But first, I gotta put my respirator on. Hellsinger, for what it is actually like a steal for the price. It's a really awesome game that comes with a lot of different modes, and there's an album attached to it with a lot of really popular metal singers. Dark Messiah, what are you doing? Yo! Thank you so much! Thank you for the big, big, big tip! Thank you! Holy! Thank you so much! I really appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to... let me grab a paper towel too. Just in case I make a mess. Okay. Just in case. We got more. So I'm going to put my respirator on. And we're going to be doing some more gluing. Doing the gluing. Okay. Okay. I want to look cute with my mask on. Huh. Stop doing that! Why is my face stupid? Stop! Okay, that's better. Okay, there we go. There we go. Yay! Alright, so we're gonna start by putting a little bit of glue on a piece of foam. I'm gonna use a thinner piece for now. I have to grab my other scissors because I don't want to cut foam with my fabric scissors. That's like a sin. Okay, a smaller piece. I'm just going to put a tiny little bit on my foam. And you want the glue to be as thinly spread out as possible. And the thing with gluing fabric is that the fabric tends to soak up a lot of the glue. So it takes a little bit of extra time to dry. I would keep that in mind. Okay. I'm gonna hold these pieces open so that way they don't stick to each other while it's drying. I'm getting this all over my hands, but ideally you'd want to wear like gloves or something. But you know, I'm built different. Yeah. So, I guess while that dries, yeah, let me do this side too. We'll do both. Yeah, you want to wear a respirator whenever you're working with anything that has toxic fumes. It's very, very easy to get high on this stuff, and like not the good way. You'll just get like really bad headaches. So please be careful. You feel sick and dizzy, and it's not fun. This is the Metal Hellsinger playlist. It is a metal rhythm shooter game that collabed with a lot of really popular metal singers from different metal bands. It's really awesome. Although these are just the instrumental tracks. We were listening to the normal tracks, but then the playlist looped to the instrumental stuff. All right. Okay. So now we can press these together. The Red Star, thank you for resubbing. AJ, thank you for 27 months. Thank you. The Dealership, thank you for 13 months. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. So now I'm going to put the little zipper piece tucked in there. And then we're just gonna seal up this seam. So that way it's nice and glued. And what this does is it just prevents that other piece of the zipper that we cut earlier from fraying. So that way we don't get any loose threads just kind of poking out and then the fabric destroying itself. We don't want our boots to completely come apart. And now, even if the threads start to unravel, they won't go too far because they are glued into place now. Hype train started! Thank you! Hold on. Thank you! Sorry, they're so tall they block my tracking. Thank you! Gentle Manga Enjoyer, thank you for the resub! Thank you! Thank you so much. My boots will no longer be afraid. Yeah, I suppose you're right. Holly! Thank you for the 5 gift subs! Thank you so much! Oh, that's right! 5 subs and above are discounted, 35% off. Twitch going crazy with it. Dark Messiah, you've given me so much today! What the heck? Thank you!
The
Thank you for
Nihlister
the
model looks
subs.
awesome. Cinder 6 wow.
Thank you, Red Star! I'm glad you like it. Thank you for the bits. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Okay, I'm gonna see. This is ready to be glued. And I think it is. So I'm just gonna smoosh these together. Seal that up. And contact cement is a very versatile glue, so you can glue virtually anything together with it, which I really like. That's why I like to use it.
Cinder, you look amazing. OMG, Cinder 6 Pyro, so cute. Cinder
Thank
6
you!
Loom, Cinder 6 Heart.
Glad you like my cosplay. You guys get to see my virtual cosplay, and then many, many more months from now, you guys will get to see my physical cosplay. But it just goes to show like how long it takes me to make stuff, especially like this in depth, because I'm making this as if I were to compete in it. Like if I was still competing in the master division and cosplay contests like I used to, I wanted to make it as perfect and professional as I can to get it super duper accurate. Mezzes, thank you for 4 months. Foo Bunny, thank you for the 10 gift subs. Red Star! Thank you for the 50 subs! Holy, thank you so much! Thank you! I really appreciate it. That's so sweet. Thank you! Thank you so much. Draco Dragon, thank you for the 5 subs. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thorion, thank you for a whole year. Man, you guys are so sweet. Thank you. All right. Things are looking good here. So now we just have to take the jump to glue everything down. I'm going to start with this little inner flap, just because it's probably going to get in the way. Yeah. This little guy. Shoulder, thank you for 13 months. Thank you for the tier 2 resub. Thank you. Okay, for now I'm going to put the respirator back on to use similar glue. I like to work in small sections with contact cement just because of how easy it is to accidentally stick pieces together with it. And when they stick, it sticks permanently. So it's good to be careful and not put too much on because you don't want pieces sticking to each other that aren't supposed to be stuck together. Okay. Man, let my face look stupid again. It is what it is. Let's do this. Actually, let me cut this off first. Let's get a fresh piece of foam to use. Hello? There we go. All right. So this goes to about here. If I can avoid it, I'm going to try not to get glue on the inside of the shoe where I don't plan on gluing anything to. Just so that way my skin isn't touching the glue layer. Even if it's going to be dry by then. Really soak that up. Okay. Now we wait for that to dry. Still have some like fuzzies on my desk from ripping up that zipper. Vipo! Thank you for 5 months! Thank you! Thank you for the level 11 hype train, you guys. Wow, thank you. Gonna drink some more Pyro Power. It's been a bit. That's good stuff. Gibby! 20 gift subs! Thank you so much! Thank you! Thank you! That's so sweet! Holy moly! That means so much. Smeg with the big cheer! Thank you for 6,000 whole biddies! Thank you! Thank you, thank you, thank you! It means a lot, you guys. That y'all are like hanging out with me even though I'm doing boring shoe stuff. It's really important to me though for my cosplay to make it look as good as I can get it. Sir Camtastic, thank you for the 10 gifted subs! Thank you! Thank you, thank you, thank you! Gamer Dude, thank you for the 5 subbies! Wolf Gaming, thank you for a whole year! Thank you for the 12 months! Thank you, it's not boring. Well, it's not okay, I shouldn't call it boring. It's not as exciting as some of the other crafting we can do. Because typically, you know, when I say I make an Nihlister, people want to see the dragon heads and they want to see me making the cannons, which obviously is going to happen eventually. But there are other pieces too that I want to work on. And I like to jump around a lot because it prevents me from getting burnt out on just like making the same piece. So that's why I hop around a lot. And, you know, I'm just kind of working on what I can because a lot of the stuff needs to be sanded and dremeled, and I can't do that at my desk because then all the little foam dust pieces are gonna get inside my computer and that's not gonna be good. So I'm really trying to do what I can that's still on stream to show you guys. Okay. That goes like right there. Smush! Smush the glue! Look at the chillin' vibe. I'm glad. It makes me really happy. It's definitely unique to me, which is pretty cool. Nice. It still zips good. It was important for me to keep this little inner flap because that is what's preventing the plastic of the zipper from rubbing up on my ankle on the inside of the shoe. So I just glued this down, although it ended up gluing further down than I thought it would. So now that I got it started, what I can do is take a little bit more glue, or actually I could cut it. I could cut it, but I think it might be good to keep everything relatively the same length on the inside, just for my own comfortability. Because if one part feels shorter, then it might end up rubbing weird. Like against my leg. Alright. So, and you know what? This music doesn't have the lyrics anymore. Let's start back from the beginning. Let's restart the playlist so I can hear the lyrics. So we can jam hard. Okay. Once again, respirator time.
I was up at 4 this morning. I
My
just
eyes are
got
closed.
home like an hour ago from a long day to Cinder crafting or just vibing.
Ah.
What a perfect
That's
end
better.
to the day,
Whoa,
Cinder
look
6 head
cute.
pat.
Finally! Oh, Keone, thank you for the tier 1! Welcome! Thank you! Okay. Bum 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 bum. Bum bum da dum dum dum. Da dum da dum da dum. Just a little bit more. Yeah, I've been working a long time on an IRL cosplay of Nihlister, and I decided to make a really awesome VTuber cosplay of her too.
Alright. Only tiny little pieces of glue, but you know, when I get close to the big chunks of it, I like to wear my respirator just in case. Me jamming with the respirator on, right? Yeah, just girly things. Starting to fall asleep. Go get some rest. Go sleepies. It's important to rest. I left my needle loose again. I'm so bad at that. I need to stick it on here so I don't step on it later. Ray Ryuko, thank you for resubbing. The cyber goth look. I don't think my respirator is very cyber gothy. I don't know. Maybe if it was more like metallic and black to match Nihlister? Maybe. So, after we glue down, let me see if it's dry. Almost dry. After we glued on that little flap, then we can kind of work our way around the rest of the shoe. And then we do the other shoe. I don't think I'll do that on stream though. But we'll see. Side project? No, I don't have time for side projects. I barely have time off stream to work on this, but I really, really need to do some stuff off stream at my parents' house because they have a garage space that I can Dremel in and get really messy with, you know, rotary sanding and stuff like that. So I do need to do a lot of sanding on some pieces to get them to fit together in a very specific way. I would do that on stream if I could, but it just makes such a mess and I'd get little foam pieces and dust in all the nooks and crannies of my tech stuff for my stream, and I really don't want that. So, unfortunately, that'll have to be left for off stream.
Just had a thought, Imagine when Cinder's done with her cosplay and the Hellhound Council showing up disguised as Rapture's
No.
Cinder 6 Omega Lyle.
Disguised as Raptures. Well, I would be one of the strongest of the Raptures. So I bet I could take them on. Rah, rah. I might cut the corner here a little bit. Just to get it to fit in there. We'll see how it looks when it's all glued down. So, when we glue this, let me just make sure it is in fact 5 centimeters all the way around. And it's not just folded awkwardly. Measure twice, cut once. Glue once. Mm-hmm. Oh wait, 6. 6 centimeters. No, that's 5. I have it, I kind of measure things weird because when you measure up to the metal part, it's not accurate. Because the number 2 inch, or number 2 centimeters
cool
here,
costume, Zing.
that means number 1 is kind of closer to here instead of the actual edge. So I start a centimeter in. Yeah, it's about 5 from there. It's 4 from here. But it does line up. So I think that's okay. As long as it lines up good on the outside, it's okay if it's not too even on the inside. Lemon, thank you for 16 months. Ayo, thank you for the gift sub. Mr. Helix, thank you for 4 months. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Okay. So, luckily for me, it kind of has a bit of a crease from where it was folded. Can I fold it back the other way? Not really. It's a little more difficult to do. But this way I can at least have an easier time with the glue. If I fold it back on itself like this. And that way it'll also help the glue dry faster. And it won't be prone to sticking to itself when it's all closed in like that. It's all about the order of operations too.
Okay.
It looks like I'm sleeping.
Looks like I'm pissed off. That's fine. Chef Kiter, thank you for 3 months. Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna grab a different piece of foam, something that's thicker, to spread more glue more efficiently. You want it kind of all over. Normally I'd put the glue on whatever I'm gluing, but because there's so many folds, I don't want the glue to drip everywhere. I want it to be more controlled. It can get very messy. I'm also trying to be careful not to get it on the outside of the shoe at all. Whee! Very carefully. Still trying to keep the glue layers relatively thin, as thin as I can. Because that is the most effective when using contact cement. Is to keep the layers of glue thin. So skinny. Nice and thin. Our skinny little glue layers. I'm glad you guys like the music. I could listen to albums like this all day. It's just that it's hard to find. Oh wait, I'm not streaming on YouTube today. I can play whatever I want. I totally forgot. I've been so used to following YouTube streaming rules at the same time. That's right. We're on Twitch today. Just Twitch. That's why I was just kind of like repeating this playlist. Okay, we'll do that for now. If we need to add more later, we can. It's kind of thick here. Yeah, pause chant. Hold on.
Pause chant. Let's get the Twitch exclusive beats here. Now we're talking. All right. Dry. Little glue webs. Dry, 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 dry. Dry, 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 dry. Dry, dry, dry. Intro down with the sickness, so that's more like it's a little different than this. Miss Gear, thank you for 6 months. Doodle, thank you for the tier 2. Thank you for 13 months. Thank you. Stop laughing at me. Stop it. Miranda Tempest, thank you for 7 months. Thank you, thank you. Okay. Tacky. I want to wait a little bit longer so that way I can kind of glue down the 2 edges first and then work my way around. If that makes sense. Just to kind of get the best results. I don't want to rush it too much. Laughing with me. Thank you. Thanks. there's like something on the plexiglass acrylic. Okay. So now, gotta be super careful. I love Nightwish. Come on. We fold lace. It's gonna want to kind of buckle a bit. There's a bit of a gap. It like doesn't want to glue all the way in there. Okay. Nice. Okay, this side is really secure. These are a little loose. I didn't want to put too much glue too far into the shoe, but you can see there's still a little bit on the bottom that I can go back in and add more glue. But it's not going to sit completely flush all the way in, just because there's like extra room in here and stuff. But for the most part, these are all glued, all beautiful, and these are officially shortened. And permanently so. Just for good measure, I'm gonna put this on my foot and make sure things are still good. Make sure they still fit. Well, they're a bit tighter, which is good. They feel more secure now, like they're not gonna slide off my foot. Yay! Okay, awesome. Freaking love that. I think I will try to put some more glue on the inside in here. But other than that, yeah, we're making progress. I think maybe I didn't put enough. Yeah, I definitely didn't put enough in here. Oh, there it started to stick. Yeah, here it's nice and stuck. And there it's stuck. But I think I didn't wait long enough in here. So I think I'm gonna try, see if I can readjust. I really don't want to peel off any of that pleather. What am I doing? I am shortening these boots. Like so. We started like this. And in order to get a look like Nihlister's feet like that, I need the shoes to be shorter because we've got these armor pieces. This is the armor on top of her foot. And if I put the armor piece on the shoe as is, it's got a lot of extra bulk up here that I don't want. So, with the new cut down shoe, I can put the armor piece there and it fits the way I want it to. So that's what I've been working on. It's a pretty in-depth, lengthy process, but it's something I've done before, and it's something really unique when it comes to cosplay. So I thought I would show you guys how I did something like this. But I think I will try to glue down the rest of these edges just so it's a little more secure. Yeah, like that. Just didn't glue all the way. And I want it glued all the way. You like the model? Thank you! I appreciate it. Interesting to watch and learn. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. So I'm probably going to do the rest of this just off stream. That way it's not all just the same stuff for a long, long time. You know? Model's insane. Thank you! Thank you! So, I did show you the armored pieces. And then next on the shoes, I do have toes. Actually, I have one that's sanded. Let me get my bag of pieces. Boom. Bada boom. So this is my practice piece with the engraving of her toe pattern on it. And this is the full 3D toe. I'm probably going to redo this just because the foam got torn up a little bit. But this is just a very rough cut of what the toes are kind of going to look like on the sides of the shoe there. Pretty swag. So they kind of stick out to the side a bit. Kind of like that. Here, let me get her other foot. Oh, where is it? Girl, where's your other foot? Ah, there it is. Yeah, it's kind of like... kind of like that. It's cool that it has a curve in it already. So I'll probably just cut out a little groove to help it sit more flush against the foot. But seeing it really come together is crazy. Here, if we zip this up. That's gonna go there. And then that's gonna go here. The vision is visioning. That silhouette. Here, let me move these a little. It keeps getting in the way. God damn it. Here, I'll go between her legs. Boom. Check it out! Look at her legs! So that's where we're at right now, but there'll be this pattern on top, so it'll look more like that. More like that. Isn't that cool? And then I'm going to use the back of this clear piece to do the super spiky, jaggy heel. Yay! I'm excited. The feet starting to come together. I typically like to work from the bottom up. Bottoms up. I like to work my way up for the most part. But sometimes if there's a big prop that I'm excited to do, which I am excited to do, but it is pretty daunting, her giant cannons. I do at least make all of the patterns at the same time so I can see proportions of everything together. And that's why I like to work on different pieces all at once, because then I can kind of see things come together. And if I need to fix something, it's not like a completed piece that needs to be fixed. It's just like a part of a piece that could be fixed, if that makes sense.